it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. James Harden opts into his contract but requests a trade. What is the market for Harden? Will he end up staying with the Sixers? Veteran point guard Patrick Beverley signs a one-year deal with the team, while other key role players are lost to free agency. Does Daryl Morey have a plan, or is the Sixers offseason as directionless as it appears? Nick Castellanos has made the All-Star team. The Phillies lose a frustrating series against the Nationals, but Aaron Nola pitches a gem to take Game 1 versus the Rays. Bryce Harper continues to struggle to hit the ball over the fence. The Flyers round out an impressive draft while signing a handful of free agents. Tony DeAngelo is expected to be traded to Carolina in the next few days. All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Another day, another dollar, feeling pretty good. It's nice to come in here after having a couple days off, a nice long weekend, 4th of July, spent with a lot of good friends, good company, good food. Feeling refreshed, feeling recharged, feeling ready to go.
Word, yeah, I dare say that I feel pretty good. Feeling pretty sore,
well, besides
frankly.
the leg.
But all in all, life's good, man. Got into some kickball as we promoted on the pod last week. And it was a rousing success until the inevitable thunderstorms that we've been experiencing every day kind of rained on our parade, literally and figuratively. But all in all, doing good. Ready to talk some sports and some other general nonsense with y'all.
Yeah, rain was ridiculous. This wasn't even like normal. It's been raining like every day, but that was like a fucking hurricane.
At one point,
yesterday.
It was sideways. I was like, "This is fucked up. I can't do this anymore."
Huddled underneath an umbrella, trying to eat hot dogs while it just downpoured.
You guys were under an umbrella. I had some weird like rug I had over my head.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were the odd man out there. But we did have it was funny because we had the umbrella going, and it was like, this is like okay for now, I guess. But then we just started noticing that a puddle was just growing bigger and bigger at our feet. Like where I have like half my foot like underwater. It's like, all right, this feels like it's bad now.
Yeah, then the ground just got so wet that the umbrella wouldn't stand up. We had to like literally all just hold it so it didn't go anywhere. And then that's when that gust of wind came that was just sideways.
Yeah.
Just blew all the rain onto all the food. The blueberry tart that we didn't get to eat got all wet. The hot dogs were all wet. The buns were soggy. But we're doing too much complaining. That was a great game of kickball, man. That was a lot of fun.
8.5, right? We
Yeah.
ended at the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, it went eight innings.
8 3/4, maybe only 8 2/3. I think we had 2 outs at that point.
Yeah, the
We
ball,
got you guys 2
once
outs.
it started raining, like the ball just got too slippery to hold on to.
The field was just a
The
swamp.
field was just a mess. That was pretty epic before it got like really fucked up though.
Prior to that, though, great fucking game. Great turnout. Some great kicks.
My team, of course, were the victors of the game, defeating Avery and Pat's team.
Hey, whatever. We had one fewer person for like the first 4 innings.
And we hit a home.
Here come the excuses.
The only team that hit a home run, too, I will say. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that was a good.
But yeah, shout out to my man that was standing there smoking weed on the sidelines with his scooter.
Yeah, one fan.
Yeah, he was like, calling the plays and just getting real high the whole time.
At one point, we were like,
Fun
"You can
dude.
be ump if you want." He's like, "Nah, I'm all right. I'm gonna sit back here." We're like, "All right," but then he didn't leave, so he just kept
And he
calling
kept talking
plays.
with us the whole time,
chirping up and shit.
I thought he was going to ask us for a beer.
I respect that though, that he didn't. It gets annoying when everyone's like, "Oh, let me get it," like that you don't know. You're like, "All right, man." Then you give someone an inch and they take a mile. They keep going, but he was all right. As weird as he was, I feel like at that park you just got to expect that.
Yeah. Yeah, the week prior, I think I was telling you all this when that guy was there. But the week prior, we had some old man come up to us and ask us if we could play soccer for him. It's like, nah, man. Like, you see this is clearly a kickball. There's 6 of us here. We don't even have enough people to play kickball, let alone to play soccer. Like, no, that's not what's going on here. I think he kind of understood and like he watched, but you could tell he was probably a little disappointed in us. But
he was like, "Can you guys do shirts for skins next or what?" You're like, "What?" Oh, hold on. But it was a great day. It was funny for how hot it felt at our house. I was like, "Man, this is gonna be a brutal day to be playing kickball out in the sun like that." But it felt great at the field.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
No, breezy. We had all the shade on the one side. it was really, really a great day. I'm not gonna lie, that was fun.
Dude, and the other part that drove me crazy was we all finally decided, like, well, at least you got to get out of here. It's raining too crazy. And then, like, 5 minutes after I get home, it clears up and it's just nice and sunny. I was like, what the fuck?
I was furious,
You could still be out there grilling and chilling.
I couldn't wait. I hit my breaking point, though. I'm like, I've already wrung out my shirt and thought it was at least just not soaked anymore. By the time it started coming in sideways, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
Yo, I changed, like, my shirt was all soaked from sweat, right? Then I changed into a dry shirt. Then it starts pouring down raining, so the dry shirt got all soaked. I was so frustrated. Then I get home, right? As soon as I get home, just run up to the shower. It's still kind of raining at the time. I get out, and the rain's completely done. The sun's out. I was mad as hell.
Yeah, it was very frustrating weather-wise. And then by the time we got done, showered up and everything like that, I'm like, I'm cooked. Like, I'm just chilling right now. But, damn. I feel like we could have won that game in the 9th inning. I'm not gonna lie. Once we got Jay on the team, we had our
he was killing it
out. We did pretty good, but we'll never know.
So I get home and obviously my shoes are completely soaked or whatever. So I leave them by the door or whatever. Then today I go down to see if they're any drier and they're still soaked. I'm like, damn, this sucks. But then I'm like, oh, well, it's like hot as shit outside right now. Let me just put the shoes outside.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
But then I forgot about them, and then it poured rain again today. So now they're probably just as soaked right now. They're still out there. I'm like,
soaking wet.
I guess I'll see maybe if tomorrow if it doesn't rain.
I went out to grill and I was like, God damn it, again they're wet. We had to go to the store after work today and like get pickles and shit for dinner, and it was like spitting out. But I'm like, this is nothing compared to yesterday. We get halfway there, it opens up. I'm like, I'm furious at this point. I'm already soaking wet again. My underwear is wet through the pants. I'm like, I just went through this shit yesterday. Like, I'm done being wet and walking around in the rain. But it's summer, baby.
Yeah, it's that point of the summer where it's just humid and it's going to rain every day. And Trevor, I did the same thing as you, but as soon as I saw a couple raindrops start coming in, I had to get those shoes back in the house.
Yeah, I totally
They're
forgot.
still kind of wet from yesterday, even though they were sitting out in the sun all day today.
Just it's so humid.
Yeah. Yeah, and also we were just standing in a giant puddle for the better half of like 30 minutes yesterday.
Trying to load up everyone's car. Like, I was trying to jump over puddles at one point. I'm like, this doesn't matter. Like, I'm soaking wet anyway. What's the point of jumping over it? Like, let's just walk through this shit. But it flooded pretty crazy. Like, throughout the city, it was flooding where we were down here.
Yeah, that wasn't your average summer storm, man. It was...
Mm-mm. It was funny when it first... I remember, too, when it first started raining, because it wasn't really dark out, and we were like, oh, this is nice. Look at it. It's a cool little sun shower. You don't see that too often. And then it's like, nope, it's going to be shitty real soon.
15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Damn.
30% chance of rain yesterday. 30% my ass, man.
Yeah, it was 110% rain, I would say.
But yeah, I guess kickball will continue to play. We'll nurse our wounds, all of us.
Yeah, I'm sore as
Very
shit.
sore.
My legs are killing me.
I haven't ran for any reason in quite a while. So yeah,
that shit fucked me up big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that last week was coming off the hoogie crawl than kickball. I was definitely sore in more places of my body last week, but this week, just the pain in the quads and like the hips, it's more intense than it was last week. Probably just all the slipping and sliding is that like
it's an intense game.
Wet. But hey, we'll continue to play.
It did get intense. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was really.
Oh, I was talking shit.
I had to keep because I'm very competitive when I play stuff like that. So I'm trying to feel out the crowd. It's a lot of new people. But then once the game got close and we had that big, when it was like 10-3, I think I was like, all right, well, it's a low key game, no big deal. And then it was like 10-7, 10-8. I was like, or we got it to 11-10. I'm like, all right, now I'm jazzed up.
Yeah. I remember at one point Trevor said he was going to hit a grand slam. Then I called this shit. He popped up and I called it. I was like, grand slam my ass.
Damn.
I was talking shit.
We had a 2-run home run. Not gonna lie, got you home. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's probably enough for the kickball game. I don't know if we're going to play this weekend. I think everyone will probably be a little sore. This is our bye week. You know what I'm saying? So we'll probably be back the weekend after next.
So what do you want to get into first? The Sixers?
Let me do these shots first.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We can do Sixers, but let me do these shots while it's early in the pod.
Yeah. So this was, if you guys remember from, I guess, 2 weeks ago, Avery said he would do 2 shots of 99 bananas if the Flyers drafted Mishkov. which they did. We discussed that a little bit last week. And so he's got to do the 2 bananas.
Yes, so Philly sports tradition. Anytime a Philly sports team does something that I like, in this case it's a win, even though it wasn't a game. They won the draft, in my opinion. Got to do these 2 shots of bananas. Been a 10-year tradition at this point. But cheers to Matvey Mishkov. There's one. Woo! That's 2.
Down the hatch. Riveting podcasting right here.
Well, hey. Ooh, excuse me. Jeez, sorry, Mom, if you're listening. But do we want to stick on the Flyers? Whew.
Yeah, we can.
Might
I
as
guess.
well while we're here.
Yeah, we're already in this area.
Pretty busy week they've had.
Yeah, they signed a few guys. Pretty much your typical sort of rebuilding free agent signings. Guys who are not terrible, but who aren't really going to interfere with the rebuild. I don't know. I mean, I don't know a ton about most of these guys. Well, I guess the one sort of more well-known person they signed was Mark Stahl, the defenseman.
Yeah, he's old, like what, 35, 36?
Yeah, he's old. He was on the Panthers last year. Has a lot of playoff experience. I guess they figured that he could be a good guy to have in the locker room or whatever. And he's also a Torts guy. He used to play under him with the Rangers.
And it's a 1-year deal, right?
A little veteran.
So they could turn around and flip him at the deadline.
Right. He's definitely a candidate for that. Though it is funny that he was one of the other players who refused to wear the Pride jersey during the
one out, one in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's, it's a rule. It's a rule in the new CBA that each team has to have at least one homophobic defenseman.
Yeah.
This is everyone needs one of those guys.
Damn. Well, at least they waited till July. They were like, all right, well, we're done with June. Let's bring in Stahl.
Yeah.
We won't get
Once
too
Pride
much
month's
flack.
over.
Yeah. Damn. Dog.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Then so they also signed center Ryan Perling, I think is how you say his name.
I like that. I think that's a good one. He's younger, right? 24.
Yeah, he was like a pretty highly touted draft pick. Hasn't really panned out, but it's nice. I think it's a good signing, and it's sort of one of these guys who knows, give him a shot. Maybe he has a higher ceiling than he's shown so far, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't really matter because we don't really need any of these free agent signings to actually pan out for the plan to go ahead as forward. But
3-4 years.
if they do turn out, I guess he's young enough to where if he does kind of start to get better and stuff, he could potentially be part of the team in 3-4 years.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminded me of the way the Eagles have done it with their offseason, or they did it with their offseason, bringing in these guys that were touted coming out of the draft that you figure they haven't lived up to expectations at this point. It's a low risk, high reward type signing. So Perling particularly kind of reminds me of that. I'll also say that all of these signings were very processy, but Perling seems a little more processy in the way that, the Sixers took a chance on a TJ McConnell or Robert Covington. Just, what the hell, we're going to be bad. This guy could have a career. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Perling's going to have a 10-year career like a TJ McConnell or Robert Covington, but you never know.
Rocco. Always liked him.
Yeah, and then Trevor, I guess who else was there? There was Hathaway.
Yeah, Garnett Hathaway. Was he the guy who was on the Caps? There's him and that dude Rhett Gardner. I
forget who was who.
I forget who was who. Yeah. They got a lot of right wing depth, I guess. A lot of those guys. But, these are a couple of these basically feel like for a good team would be what you'd call depth signings. But for the Flyers, we technically need to ice a team signings, Like, we can't just have 3 guys on the ice. So I guess we do need to fill out the roster a little bit. I mean, I guess the one concern with signing these type of dudes is you hope they're not going to really block the path to some of their prospects or whatever, but I'm not really that worried about that. I think if some of those younger guys, if they're able to earn a spot, they will, and if not, these guys won't be around that long anyway. So
yeah. To me, like again, harkening back to the process, this is kind of one of the ways that the process fucked up. Probably one of the more underrated ways that the process kind of just fell short was. You think back to like that 2015 season. The Sixers had Nerlens Noel, Embiid, who wasn't playing, Jahlil Okafor, T.J. McConnell, Robert Covington. I'm not going to name the whole 2015 Sixers roster, but they had an extreme lack of veteran leadership, which not to be like I've become the hashtag culture guy on this podcast, but
you are
not to be that guy, but you do kind of need these veterans to sort of lead the younger guys and to sort of help you establish a culture and an identity, and the Sixers just didn't have that. So I think in that sense, the Flyers kind of learned. I don't even know if they've learned, but they know better. And I did think it was funny, again, just thinking of the process, that Sam Hinkie tweeted during the Flyers draft, he tweeted a picture of Gritty.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So,
yeah,
always watching from afar.
Yeah, he appreciates what they're doing.
But I think you see that across the board in every Philadelphia team. Like the Flyers, like in recent years, have been really the worst ones from an organizational ran standpoint. And I think, like you said, where the Eagles, they might be having a great season. Last year, they were undefeated for the longest time, but then they still bring in guys like Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, that veteran presence, guys that have been there that can still play. The Phillies bring in guys that can play that have been to the show before with Schwarber and Harper and all those guys, Turner. The Sixers, Harden, you're bringing in guys left and right. And I think that's good to see the Flyers, at least start to build and develop, and hopefully one day they do, bring in some more meaningful vet presence. But I think that does, the culture guy and all that stuff. But it is a meaningful thing. I think that you got all these young guys, they need direction because they can't all get. It's like having siblings. You can't get yelled at by your parents all the time. You need like a sibling or something like that to like get you straight, or whatever, friends around you to help you out, whatever, or a mentor. But I think that, they're on that path of hopefully turning shit around. What's their phrase now? A new shade of orange? Some shit like that?
Yeah. The new age of orange.
New age of
orange. Is that
orange.
what it is?
I'm pretty sure it's a new age, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
But, I guess overall, I kind of like the way they've handled their offseason. I'm surprised, Pat, you didn't bring this up. They drafted not one, but two goalies.
Damn, here we go now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, I saw that when you said that in the chat the other day. I was like, am I going to make another bet real quick? Because like they got one in a trade, they drafted two, so now we got 4 goalies. There's no way they keep
too many. You can't have enough.
No.
There's also a chance, like an outside chance that the other Russian guy, Fedotov, might come over because
is he a goalie too?
He was he is a goalie.
Okay.
He was the guy. He was the guy
Back
who
those
tried.
shots up real quick.
He's the guy who tried to come over and then got like arrested for evading military service.
I remember this. Yeah.
So he's done his required military service now, and he was reported to have signed a 2-year extension in the KHL, but now the KHL are saying that they haven't, I guess, I don't know what the word for it is, like ratified or like registered the contract to make it official with the league because he technically is under with the Flyers. And so I don't know, there's like, I guess there's sort of back and forth with neither league wanting to like step on the other one, this
Why don't they feel that way with our Russian guy that we just drafted?
Well, because he's under contract for 3 years. He was already under contract.
We need some funny stuff to happen with that contract too.
Big
but
time.
I guess I don't know. It almost seems like maybe it's like, you respect our contracts, we'll respect yours type of thing, so that we don't have
Fuck
these sort
that
of
shit. I don't respect any of that. Let the guy come over here.
Yeah.
You defended one coup. All right, you're good to go. Come over here. Yeah. Terrible goalie, or actually probably a decent goalie because I didn't get all the way to Moscow, so I guess we should bring his ass over here. But in other words,
I don't know if he's gonna.
What's his last name?
Fedotov.
Fuck that. That sounds like a bitch. Another block by Fedotov. What? Nope.
He's huge. I'll
Put him
say
in
that. The guy's massive. There was this. His last little bit of his like military service thing he did was actually playing in his armed forces hockey tournament. So like I think he was in like the Russian Navy or something, and they were playing against like the army team and that kind of stuff. And there was I I think it was like they were playing, the Army versus Navy or whatever, and they showed a picture of him and the opposing goalie, and the other goalie just looked like a fucking midget next to him. It was fucking hilarious.
Carter Hart's out of here.
Dude, he's probably back there lifting weights with the Bears and the crazy Russian.
Yeah, he's
drinking
chorus, man.
Vodka right from the bottle.
Yeah, drinking vodka mixed with eggs and protein powder.
And nails. Yeah. All right, we'll bring him over here.
Thumbtacks. Yeah, so I don't know. That's another thing, but I guess the story with these goalies they drafted is it was one of those situations where they weren't really, according to what they were saying, is that they weren't going into the draft planning on drafting a bunch of goalies, but it was just that they had these guys somewhere at whatever point in their list, and they just slipped further than they thought they were going to and felt like they couldn't pass them up.
So we got right wing loaded. We got goalie loaded. We'll figure out the rest.
I mean, it's never, I don't really mind them taking a shit ton of goalies. I mean, obviously, you only have so much space to put them all, but because goalies are kind of a crapshoot and they take a long time to develop, so it's one of those positions where it's nice to have a lot of lottery picks.
That's a funny thing to me, though, that a goalie takes a long time to develop, because it's not to come at anybody, a goalie player, but like a skill position, right? Like you're playing the wing or whatever, you're expected to score and do all the crazy shit, but like, you're in your 20s, mid to late 20s, you're in your prime. If you don't know how to be a goalie yet, what do you develop?
Game's different though. Like it's called differently, and like the ice is structured differently across these different hockey leagues. So like to that end, I can see how that there is a learning curve there.
I think it's got to be pretty short.
Yeah, I mean, those pucks are coming at you faster, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, defenses play different schemes and whatnot, and like you have to adjust to that and offenses too as well. I guess. Offenses are going to play different power plays, different schemes, run different plays off face-offs.
I mean, and just like the quality of the shots coming at you are just so much better at the NHL level or even the AHL or whatever. So, a guy who's good in juniors or whatever just might not be able to hack it in the...
Well, I'd rather take the guy from Russia
echelons.
than the guy from Michigan State then, because that guy's seen some shit. He can block anything then. I'll take him.
Yeah. He's out there blocking bullets. You know?
He's not going back to the dorm room after the game like, wow, that was a great game, everybody. Let's all drink a case of Natty Light. He's chilling in a fucking bunker somewhere. Hanging out with a bear, drinking vodka. That's the guy you want in net right there. His learning curve is done. He's completed. He's good to go. Yeah, Sign the papers, get him over here.
If you can play hockey with Grizzly Bears, you can play hockey with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess the one other thing, sort of a correction from last week. Last week we had mentioned this proposed Tony DeAngelo trade, saying that it wasn't going to happen. It is reportedly going to happen. It's just they had to wait until, I think it's July 7th, when it's been
the 9th.
Or the 9th or whatever, when it's been officially a year since the original trade that sent him to Philly because of, cap, CBA, rules, whatever. So it does look like that is going to happen. But it is kind of funny that we're going to be, again, just retaining salary on Tony DeAngelo after trading for him 1 year ago.
I mean, let's be honest, extending him was a mistake that we need to reconcile somehow. So if it means waiting till July 9th to trade him and then eating salary, so be it. I mean, the bad news is, as we said last week, he might help us lose a couple more games. But the good news is, he's kind of a shitty person, and he's a racist, and I don't really want to on the team.
Yeah, don't need it. I guess that's pretty much it for the Flyers. I guess development camp has started.
I haven't really been paying attention to it other than that one glorious Charlie O'Connor tweet.
Oh, yeah, brink, bunk, and bonk. Yeah. Yeah, the Flyers are assembling a team of players that could be featured in a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, that tweet was incredible. But, yeah.
Some people were... go ahead.
I was going to say, I can't really call it other than that.
Yeah, I guess the only bit of news there is that Cutter Gauthier is not participating in development camp. People were sort of making a big deal about that. Like, oh, he's never going to play or whatever. But I think apparently he had been playing in some other tournaments and stuff, and he's just been playing a lot recently, and I don't think it's really that big of a deal. So, just about does it for that. The Sixers.
Yeah, we got
a lot of bullshit going on here. Mm-hmm. James Harden. Of course, this happened like the day after we recorded last week. So James Harden opts into his contract, his player option, and then immediately requests a trade. And since then, it doesn't really look like there's much of a market there. At the very least, it looks like Daryl Morey is similar to the Simmons situation, is willing to drag it out as long as he needs to get the return that he wants. I don't know. And then I guess in the meantime, he's probably going to just keep trying to convince him to stay, which now is starting to feel more and more likely. So just a very strange situation going on there.
Dude, the NBA is so goddamn dramatic.
It really
is.
Like, the fucking Vanderpool pump rules.
The NBA is the most
show is called.
Dramatic sports league. Like, free agency starts, guys are signing deals left and right. Then as soon as, I guess first Dame opted out. Or no, Harden opted in first. Yeah, Harden opted in and then requested a trade last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency starts last Friday. Dame requests a trade last Saturday. It's just like, dude, why are y'all so goddamn dramatic? But as far as the Harden news goes, I was pretty surprised to hear that he opted in. And initially, I thought that, he was going to want to make more money and the team would be willing to give him more money. But then to hear that he opted in and requested the trade was also surprising, just because, I don't know, there isn't really a market there for him. I didn't expect there to be one, and clearly he's still a Sixer, so there isn't.
And all the trade offers that you've seen, nothing, the return is not good enough. Either he thinks he's worth, I don't know what he was expecting to do with that move. I think that, like you said, it's going to be the Ben Simmons thing where it drags out too far, but having seen him at the party with Michael Rubin and all them and all that shit, chirping it up, I feel like it's all for show.
Oh, never mind. Go on.
I feel like
I got some questions about this white party. But.
Well, that's weird. The naming of it is a
that.
little odd, but I think that's speaking of just being dramatic, I don't see in any of the league where oh my god, a player is chit chatting with so and so at a party. This could mean that he's going to go stay in Philly or he's going to go you don't know what the fuck anyone's talking about.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. And the same thing, which I've been saying this whole time with Harden, is that we won't know until it's all speculation. This is who knows what he's gonna do. He's just being a big bitch at this point. And I think honestly, I'd rather him not be on a team than here. I don't understand what you want to get out of this situation here.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the white party because I do have some thoughts, but yeah, I think. My initial take on it was that Harden, he was feeling scorned in a sense, not only by the Sixers, but by Houston, right? Houston was the team that was rumored to be interested on him.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they go ahead and sign Fred VanVleet, who Harden probably thinks he's better than at this point in their careers. They're probably about the same. Now, you know what?
I think Harden's
still better than VanVleet. I'm a little biased just because Harden let us down 2 years in a row. But, yeah, Harden sees that happen, and then he thinks about, all the money he's left on the table. He could have re-signed with Brooklyn. Did not. He could have stayed in Houston, gotten more money. Did not. So then I think all of that has kind of led to him just feeling like, oh, no one wants me. My ego's hurt. I'm just going to make the Sixers pay for it.
He could have got us out of the second round and got a paycheck after the season, but he didn't, and this is where he is. You get paid for your performance, and your age is crippling what he wants to do. Listen, you've already made so much money. You've done what you could do. You've never won anything in terms of a championship. So, you thought your big break was going to come to Philly. You've always been labeled, well, he could only go so far. He's going to take Philadelphia to the next step. Couldn't even get us into the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. So, and then you want to sit down and mope and all this shit the whole offseason and hope to get paid at a max contract? No, you're old as shit by the time that ever comes to fruition. You haven't taken a team anywhere in years. So, you had your one shot with arguably the best roster you've had in the last couple of years. Couldn't do that. I'm tired of hearing it's all well, Brooklyn was a shit show, couldn't do it. I turned down all that money.
To be fair, like that Kyrie shit was a shit show.
For sure, but you still have KD, you got Hart. Like, I'm just saying, like, listen, you've been around the league long enough. You've made your money. I don't know. I'm over his fucking theatrics at this point.
Yeah, I think, me personally, I'm more leaning towards I don't really want him back. But probably not for the same reason as you. My reason is that, like, you have to think back to when he forced his way out of Houston. He didn't pull a Ben Simmons and not play and not get paid. Like, Ben Simmons was like, I'm not going to get paid, but I'm not going to play. Harden played and played terribly and caused the team to lose games. Mm-hmm. You think to Brooklyn, right before he got traded to the Sixers, he put up like an offer in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And then they traded him like, a week later. My fear with him opting in and us not failing to trade him, like us not trading him, is that the season's going to start and he's just going to play terribly. Mm-hmm. We're going to lose games and it's going to cost us valuable games in the standings, which whenever we do trade him, we're going to need every game we can get.
That's what I'm saying, though. You need a guy that wants to be here, or at least just has that energy to play with whoever you're playing. He didn't have the juice to, like, his passion's gone. He doesn't want to just play basketball and have fun. He wants to get paid. I'm fearful of that. Yeah. And that's where it's like, you got guys where Embiid arguably is 1 foot out the door also, in a sense. Where
he tweeted the Watcher.
A
very cryptic, classic Joel Embiid tweet, the Watcher.
But, you got a team on the brink of a championship run if they get their shit together. And I love the Pat Bev signing, and to pair him up with PJ Tucker, I think is a great Bulldog kind of roster. But without Harden or a replacement for Harden, it's going to be a tough starting. I don't know. I don't really see.
I mean, my whole problem with and why I despite everything, I would still rather just have him back is because I don't think they're going to get a return for him that's actually going to replace the talent. They're already looking at probably not having quite as good of a roster with the people that they've lost, and I don't think that they can afford to just treat this year as this is just like a gap year and we'll have everything ready to go.
The Watcher's watching, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like Embiid, I think if they have a clunker this year, Embiid's going to ask out, and then none of this matters.
Right.
Then you're just starting over anyway.
Then the process truly failed.
Yeah.
But I guess we can talk about some of the rumored returns, or really, I guess, the only team that's supposedly interested in Harden. I guess the team, not even the only team that's interested in him, the team he's most interested in is the Los Angeles Clippers. Oh, the Phil's one?
Yeah, Phil's win.
Should we bust out another shot of bananas?
I don't, yeah.
This just came into Mo Bamba to the Sixers.
Mo Bamba?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Breaking news.
Yeah. 1 year deal.
Yep.
Is that our first one? There we go.
Damn, but
the Sixers still hope to keep B-Ball Paul as well.
Okay, all right.
Let's rack up them shots.
If we lose B-Ball Paul, man.
Yeah.
Mo
Bamba's a nice player.
Paul. Yeah.
Shall we?
I'll do a shot of bananas. Yeah. But, damn, that breaking news kind of threw me off.
My bad. I didn't mean...
No, you're good. So, yeah, we'll do this shot of bananas. And
what? Harden did say, though, that he really would only stay if we got Mo Bamba. He was like, wow, I think that we're just missing a crucial piece here.
There's that one Sheck West song called Mo Bamba. You know the one I'm talking about. So, yeah, Harden's probably a Sheck West fan. But,
that's exciting, though.
Yeah, that's news. The Sixers haven't really done a whole lot in free agency. Brought in Pat Bev. And, what else have they done? This, Pat Bev, and they've lost a lot of guys.
And they lost. The one loss that drives me fucking insane is that Jalen McDaniels signs with the Raptors for, what was it, not a lot.
2 years, $7...
Under 10 mil.
8 million, something like 8.7 million, I think.
Something that the Sixers clearly should have been able to match, and we give up Thibault and a pick, right?
Yeah, an early second round pick in that trade.
And then he just walks.
Yeah, so we gave that up for nothing.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, that was just really frustrating. I don't know, if for some reason McDaniel just didn't want to come back here, because I feel
he would have been the perfect Nick Nurse guy.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating I mean, I feel like the way that kind of shit usually goes is, it's like, hey, look, we want to bring you back. Go test the waters, see what people are offering you. They come back to us and, whatever. So he gets your money or whatever. And it just seemed like that just didn't happen, or they weren't willing to give him that money, which seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, really disappointing.
$4.3 million a year. Like, why wouldn't you do that for a guy who's young, who's gonna fit your system, who, like, with a little development, if he can shoot a three, learn how to shoot a corner three, be a great asset on this team. But
big time. But I think that the Mo Bamba move is an interesting one. I think Harden is just. He's been a thorn in our side. I'm not going to lie. Just this whole saga. Obviously, Harden is a tremendous player, and I'm not trying to knock his ability to play.
Just the drama, man. The NBA is so dramatic.
I feel like the city is so exhausted with drama in the NBA with the whole... We got 10 years worth of that shit with the whole Simmons thing, and it's like you finally got a guy that can actually play and is a phenomenal player. We know what he can do when he's got his head in the game. It's just a shame, like, why are we not... Why don't you want to be here? Is there something else? Like, we got rid of Doc Rivers... that was seemingly your hiccup there. He didn't want to let you play your own game. I don't know. It's frustrating because there's not a lot of information out there. It's just,
Yeah, the whole situation with Harden, it's just kind of bizarre, like very weird. Like I was saying before, I think part of it is that his ego's hurt, and he's just taking it out on the Sixers.
Yeah, but then go see a fucking therapist. You're an old man playing a young man's game. You lost some gas in the tank. That's okay, but don't just fucking complain and bitch.
I feel like it's also has to be pretty frustrating for him because he, hires an agent for the first time in years or whatever to. Make all these moves and stuff, and none of it has worked.
Yeah.
Like, going back, like we were saying, going back to Christmas, they start leaking all this stuff about Houston, thinking like, oh, this is going to be our big play. We're going to make everyone think that we're going to Houston, and they're going to offer money, and like no one's buying it. It turns out Houston was buying it, so none of that shit worked. So I can totally see how if I were in his shoes, I'd be pretty frustrated with the state of things, but. I don't know, man. I think you should just play another year for the Sixers with that option, and then
crush it. I mean, worst case
scenario, you would hope that he comes out motivated to get paid.
That's the only reason why I'm not as worried about like that we're going to get like the fat Houston Harden or the bad like Brooklyn Harden for this shit because he does need someone to give him a contract next year.
Well, it gives him fuel then. If you're pissed off, if you were going to sign a max contract anyway, you were going to have to play 3 to 4 years anyway. So you don't get signed this year. You play your balls off. Maybe get us to the Eastern Conference Finals and we lose then or whatever. Then you'll get paid. Then they're like, damn, at least he still got it at, whatever the fuck age
it'll be 35. The max he could sign would be a 3-year max. But
yeah.
All right, well, let's do these shots to
the Phillies and Mo Bamba.
To the Phillies and to Mo Bamba.
Yeah. All right.
Another thing I wanted to talk about. Did you guys see the Daryl Morey tweet?
Oh my god, with the cookies?
Yeah, so
that means Tobias
thing.
Yeah, Tobias isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it might mean that they're just like seriously running it back. But so for those of you maybe didn't see this tweet today, it's Daryl Morey pictured outside of a Crumble cookie, and he says, Tobias had to check out the first Crumble cookie store. Don't worry, Tobias, no casual fans in sight here. Which, I don't know. It could just be Daryl Morey being a big nerd, or maybe this is supposed to be reassurance that they want to bring Tobias back, to really run it back. I mean,
if you would told, first off, of course he's gonna wear pastel shorts.
Yeah, I want to get. I want to.
Yeah, we got to talk about that in the white party after we get through
we'll talk about the Tobias basketball thing, and then we could do a full breakdown of the Daryl Morey thing.
And there's a lot to talk about white party.
Yeah. We could have a little fashion chat after this.
What was the question?
I guess we're talking about what would it mean for them to bring back Tobias after it seemed almost certain that he was going to be traded.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't necessarily hate Tobias Harris. I mean,
he's fine.
I think he's okay. I think that, I think that this whole, not the hardball now, but the Harden saga kind of delays. Like, if you lose Harden, you kind of need Harris to stay.
Yeah, it's very reactionary.
And it's like, we don't need Harris if Harden comes back, because you can kind of make do with what you got or bring someone else in for a 1-year deal or whatever. But it's like, at a certain point, you got to push has to come to shove here. But I'd fucking bring back Harrison. I mean, I think he does all right. He bitches and moans a lot, but at least he tries. Like, he does.
Yeah, I mean,
seem as though he wants to play the game. And
the problem with Harris has always been that, not that he's a bad player, but that he is on a bad contract, which isn't his fault. It's.
But would you rather have him under contract playing with us or pay for his contract on another team? That's what's going to come down to.
Yeah.
We're going to have to eat a lot of that contract.
Right.
And at that point,
if we were going to trade him,
at that point, I'd rather him be ours to talk shit on than have another situation where it's like, well, fuck that guy, and we're still paying him $30 million. That's annoying as shit to me.
Yeah, I think my whole take on the Tobias thing was, I would have been excited to have seen him gone pre-draft if you were getting picks back that would have been useful to you either in this year's draft or next year's. Obviously, nothing's going to be useful in this year's draft, and probably not even next year's at this point. But at the same time, Tobias kind of serves a purpose. Pat, you bring up a good point that it is reactionary. You don't want to lose Tobias, or you don't want to lose Harden and then lose Tobias, and then your team's Maxey, Embiid, and
Pat Bev and PJ Tucker, Mo
right?
Yeah,
they've lost a lot of their key bench guys, so you kind of have to hold on to them.
Lost Yang too.
Yeah,
and
minivan.
What do you call it? Nick Nurse kind of likes Tobias. It seems like he wants to give Tobias a little more offensive freedom.
Yeah,
don't know how I feel about it, but
I mean, that would be because. It would be interesting to see if Nick Nurse can figure out a way to get him more involved, because I can also understand why it's frustrating for him as a player to, once we got Harden, we're just pretty much telling them all right, we just want you to catch and shoot threes in the corner now or from the wing or whatever. And, when he has all these other abilities that just are kind of going to waste. Yeah. I mean, it'd be one thing if you could just flip him and get 2 decent role players, but I don't think you're getting that. So it's I don't know.
If the market for Harden isn't hot, the market for Harris is fucking swamp cold. There's no. I mean, the thing is too.
We might trade him for a crumble cookie, but most NBA teams probably wouldn't even give us that.
They would all say what? I mean, I think that also with Harris is that with Nick Nurse, not for nothing, but Harris at least plays his balls off every game.
Dude, he's one of the only ones that showed up in Game 7.
Yeah, so Nick Nurse could definitely use that energy in a useful way, where I feel like with Doc's team, he was running around and guarding guys and shooting the ball haphazardly, but it always seemed like it was always coming off of a miss, a rebound and then trying to shoot it, or a weird pass or a weird knockout, where I think that with Nick Nurse, Harris could really evolve past his game. I mean, he's really had Doc Rivers a lot in his career, which I think has kind of stunted him in a way, because he definitely has an eagerness, and you can tell he's mad when he didn't make the All-Star game that one year when he was pissed and had a great year. Last year, he always seems frustrated. He cares about playing, but he seems like there's something that's missing, and I think that Nick Nurse could bring that out. I'd rather see Tobias. He's a guy that I look at, and I think that about Eagles players, where we used to let guys go early, then they'd go become a Pro Bowler somewhere else, where Tobias is on the precipice of his career where he could either be regressing a lot or take that next step forward to be a really tremendous player, or consistent player, I should say. And I think with a new head coach, he could get there. I mean, he's also kind of got that veteran presence now. He's been with the team for a while. Harris has been here for a minute, so, I'd keep him.
Yeah,
I would like to keep him.
The prospects of him being back don't thrill me, but
if you take away the monetary value of his performance, I think that's where we get hung up as Philadelphia fans. Where we're
it's not our fucking money.
No,
that's
but
the thing.
But we do that. But we're like, we're paying this much. He should be,
It's Josh Harris's money. I couldn't care less. But yeah.
But that's where contracts kind of fuck up your skew of performance. Where it's not his. He's making a business decision. He got paid that. Of course, you're not going to not sign that deal. It's a very
Philadelphia thing to get worked up about that.
I had to put my bias aside for a second and be like, well, he's playing hard. I'd rather have that where a guy wants to play than a guy like Harden that, I don't know, looks like he's 2 steps out of here.
Yeah.
So this fit that Daryl Morey.
Yeah, we got to talk some outfits and all.
Damn.
For those at home, just look up the Daryl Morey crumble cookie tweet and look at this picture. He looks like a
wearing the salmon
like
pants.
he just got done dropping off his daughters to go pick up.
But I know he looks like a kid. Like he looks like a 6-year-old kid posing next to like Goofy and Mickey at the Magic Kingdom
I
or
gotta pull
something.
the tweet back up. Hold up.
But yeah, starting. I guess we can start from the bottom up. He's got these.
There it is.
He's got the salmon shorts,
Yo,
but they're like
let's-
knee length.
Let's call that first, man. Who's rocking salmon shorts that long, looking like almost like capris?
I know they're nuts. Like if you're gonna do the salmon shorts, they gotta be.
Yeah, you got to show off some thigh, Daryl.
Yeah.
Come on, I know you're a husky man.
I mean, look,
but-
I know that not everyone has the confidence to wear the 5-inchers like yours truly, but I mean they at least got to be above the knee. This is if you're gonna have shorts go knee length, you might as well just wear cargo shorts.
Right.
You might as well just be wearing camouflage cargo shorts. And that's fine. Get those extra pockets if you don't want don't have any legs showing. You know.
They also look tight.
I mean,
Like, why is he wearing a belt? If
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, here's the next part. He's got the t-shirt tucked into the shorts.
While he's wearing what?
Like, is that belt such an amazing belt that he's got to like show off the belt? I don't think. I mean, I think
also,
if it's like a button-up short sleeve, I think there's a case made sometimes a tuck in on there.
Not
is
with
acceptable.
shorts. I would tuck that
But
in
a
with pants in a certain situation.
Yeah, but a t-shirt, no. There's no situation where you should be tucking a t-shirt into shorts or pants.
Unless you only tuck a t-shirt if you have like a jacket on over top, like a nice suit
that just
jacket
makes the pants
or
even tighter. And like those pants look pretty tight.
They don't look that tight. Look at the gaps around them knees.
But like around like. I don't know, around like the hip area, they look a little tight to me.
Well, like your shirt says, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Damn.
And then, man, what is
the problem is too? Is that like
this hat?
I was gonna say, is that
it looks too small for his head?
It's also the color combo. You can't be wearing purple, black, and
he's
pink
got purple
because you're supposed to match the belt to the shoes. You're telling me my man's wearing black shoes?
Yeah,
also
I wish we could see the shoes.
He's probably wearing like brown shoes,
right?
Or something.
Yeah, I really wish we could see the shoes. They're
rule
cut
of
off in
thumb:
the picture.
you match the belt with the shoes. You can't be rocking a black belt with brown shoes. It doesn't work that way.
And where's his crumble cookies?
Yeah,
right?
He should have
He didn't really go in.
crumble cookies.
He probably didn't even go in. He's a poser, man. He didn't even go in.
Yeah,
That's
a little
true.
photo
I mean,
op.
there's no cars in the like. He's standing in a parking spot. There's no one to the left of him. Like, they're probably not even open. He probably just figured this was a photo op. I'm going to take this photo, and then I'll use it to talk shit on Philly
Also,
fans.
you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to make a bet. I'll make a bet right now. If we can find the full picture, I will do it. But I will guarantee he's wearing black Crocs right now. That's why they cropped out. Because the person took that picture
Or like
is far
flip-flops or
enough
something.
away to get the Crumble Cookie logo and his feet in the same picture.
It was definitely intentional.
They did that on purpose because they're embarrassed by what he's got on his feet.
Oh,
It's got to be Crocs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why wouldn't he be standing closer?
Yeah, it's
You're the GM of an
really
NBA
poor
team.
photograph.
Come on now.
Oh, you're Daryl, like, clearly not the snazziest dresser.
No,
man,
but he looks like a happy dad that just dropped off his kids to like a soccer game. Like he's getting the team cookies, you know. Like that's all. His also it looks a little chilly where they're at because them things are fucking barking. You can cut ice with them nipples.
I think they're in Utah. It's been hot. It's been hot. I think he's there for summer league. It's been hot there. I was watching one of the summer league games the other day. They said it was like 100 degrees.
He's in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's funny seeing a dude with a fit that brutal and be like, "This is the guy
This is who
who
we
has to
trust
fix
with
the
our
team.
franchise.
This is the guy." Yeah, it's all in his hands.
That's what I'm saying though. Whatever.
Yo, can we get to those?
Especially like the like, you know, Daryl Morey has like this like reputation of being this fucking, you know, which may have been tarnished a little bit, but like he's for a while his reputation, he's this like genius, you know, general manager and all this stuff.
We've clearly seen that he's not that.
No.
Yeah, I think he's been like okay.
I think
He's a solid GM,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
he's not like a
He's
mastermind.
He's a good GM, but he's
Like
not.
honestly, Danny Ainge is a better GM.
You can't look at this picture and say this guy's a fucking genius. Nah.
You wouldn't see Howie outside a crumble cookie like that. Hell no.
He'd be wearing a full suit.
We saw Howie riding his bike looking svelte last year
Mm-hmm.
at Nick's engagement party. Shout out Nick, our guest from last week. But Daryl Morey, man,
he looks like a guy that would show
needs to go to a stylist.
to a game that just wears a shirt that says like, "I hope both teams have fun." Like, he just looks too happy. You should be looking mad around Crumble Cookie. And what's up with that left arm? What are we doing here?
Damn, we're judging his arms
Anyway,
now. All right.
getting too deep with the picture. My bad.
So, we got to talk. Do we want to talk Harden trades or white party?
I think we talked enough Harden.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk this white party. So, like, sure, some people have probably seen it. If you haven't, like, Michael Rubin, former, what was he, like? Minority owner of the Sixers. Former minority owner of the Sixers. There was this annual white party. So I got to ask you all, first of all, like, what the hell is a white party? Do you know?
They all wear white.
They just all wear
Why?
white.
What is the significance of wearing white?
All I could gather from the pictures, it was only labeled that because they all wear white. But having never been to a
Does it
all-white
mean
party.
anything, though? Like, in Philly, they did that Diner in Blanc.
I think it's the same idea.
But what, like,
It's
why
just like
white?
It's a bunch
Is
of-
this like a white supremacist thing?
No.
I don't think so. Cause
I think it's just because it's like the summer and it's like people wear
there was way
like
more
linen
non-white
suits
people
and
than
shit.
yeah.
They tend to be white or
But
off-white. Or
why
whatever.
would you party wearing white? You're going to get the clothes all dirty.
Because they just buy a new one anyway. They're all of the guests were like filthy rich fucking people.
Yeah, they probably bought that to wear one night.
Tyrese Maxey, like, he's more rich than your average person. He's not filthy rich.
He could buy
It's
a new
like
pair.
$1 million a
he
year.
could buy a new shirt though tomorrow, no big deal, and not care about whatever it is.
True.
White linens, like if I wear a linen, I'm like, all right, make sure I'm drinking only vodka, nothing, spilling all that shit.
Tyrese Maxey got his white suit at Joseph A. Bank.
Yeah,
Probably did.
Men's Warehouse.
for the
probably
July
did.
sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I seen him psych. But, like, I didn't get that. Like, what is the significance of wearing white?
I don't know. I don't know the origin of it, but I will say in the summertime, it does look. It's a clean look, like a tan or a white.
Oh, until you start sweating, then it's a white t-shirt contest.
Well, I don't know. People are into that kind of shit.
Mm.
But they were partying, having fun. No one looked sweaty. They all look good in the pictures, I guess.
Yeah,
looking
because
at it.
the picture, the photographer is probably getting paid hundreds of thousands.
The crazy thing is, though, it was like across every industry. NFL, NBA.
Yeah,
so
you seen
sports.
Tom Brady there giving the double birds.
Usher was there.
Yeah, Usher was there. Meek Mill, obviously, him and Michael Rubin, good friends.
Lil Baby.
Devin Booker was there.
Kevin Hart. Donovan Mitchell.
Odell Beckham.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy the amount of people that were just... place,
Robert Kraft, his old ass.
Yeah. The place still has to be, like, massive. Because,
you know that room smells funny, yo.
Oh, definitely.
That room probably smells like some ass and some liquor.
The weird thing is, all I saw were booze. It's no booze that I recognize the label of, so...
Because it's probably things we can't even afford to drink.
Yeah, but I looked up the label of the one tequila that was, like, the main sponsor thing. They only had, like, 400 followers on Instagram. Like, it's not even...
Oh.
Like a main... I don't know. Casamigos has better... I think that tequila is very good.
I don't like it, Casamigos.
Well, anyway...
Call me bougie.
But whatever. I'm just saying, like, it didn't seem like the booze thing threw me off. I didn't see any food. DJ Khaled was there. Always love seeing that guy. He just cracks me up.
Yeah,
He's
that
like-
is a good point. What the hell were they eating?
I don't know. I literally didn't see a single picture of food.
I saw Michael Rubin tweeted something about how hungover he was.
I'll tell you what, though. Michael Rubin looks fucking weird, though. He looks like a possum.
Dude, you seen the one picture where, like, Embiid had him by the head?
Yeah.
And, like, they were looking eye to eye.
Wild.
And then, like, there's another picture, the picture with him, Harden, Tom Brady, and Devin Booker. He's, like, holding Devin Booker back like this.
Yeah.
It's like, for what?
He said, back up at the pick real quick. I don't know. I
And
mean,
then Harden looks all fucked up in that picture, like, with his, like, head off to the side,
Contemplating
like,
shit.
a big grin on his face.
Mhm.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
So I was
Josh?
looking a little bit at the history of white parties.
Well-
Apparently, they began in an effort to raise money for HIV/AIDS research.
So that's what this
So
party
not,
was for?
No,
so not
but
what
no.
the white supremacist party.
I don't think that's still what this is for, though.
I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know.
I didn't see any AIDS sponsorship or any. It looked like they were just a bunch of rich guys
Yeah, they
hanging
were
out,
just
having a party.
partying,
That's
dude.
all. Wearing
Let
white.
me look up.
Were they in Miami?
I don't know.
I don't know where Michael
I'm gonna
Rubin
say.
lives.
I'm gonna say they were,
Who knows?
because I feel like Florida is a very rich, it's a beautiful. The state itself
They could have been in Vegas or some shit. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm going to say they were in Miami. Somewhere in Florida, if I had to guess. But I don't know. It's weird. They all look great, having a good time. But as I'm watching the pictures, I'm also like, this is kind of like so grotesque in a way of wealth.
Oh, yeah. It's we'll never
like
understand.
Everybody's hanging out.
Tobias there with a big grin on his face, making $39 million a year.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, how do you... I don't know. Why... Like, what's the end goal here? We're watching this content for what reason? We had a great time.
I don't voluntarily watch it. It just popped up on my feed, and it's content.
I know. It throws me off that way.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not crazy
Like, I
about
ever feel like if I ever became a millionaire or anybody got into money like that, that doesn't make sense to me.
I wouldn't do that. No, hell no.
No, but even throw a party for that shit. Like, let's say someone makes money, they end up like meeting some people that are also super wealthy, like a Brady or whatever else like that. I wouldn't hang out with them fucking people. That's way too much. Shit's weird. They look weird. They all look fucking... They got that look in their eye.
Brady's looked weird for 10 years.
They all got that look in their eye.
I don't know if they all do. Embiid was there. Embiid looked pretty miserable.
Embiid...
He doesn't like partying.
But there was like 500 people at this fucking party.
Yeah, it's not my thing. But,
Kevin Hart, I'd fuck with him. I'd hang out with Kevin Hart in a heartbeat.
But yeah, I think like one of my takeaways from it is that they're running this shit back. You seen the one picture where Embiid and Harden are talking and Tobias in the background smiling? I'm just like, oh shit, you're 2023, 2024 Sixers.
It reminds me like the boat
Harden
pick.
was talking to Josh Harris.
Mm-hmm.
There was that one pick.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I think Harden will be back for sure based off that. But I think he'll be excited to play. Maybe he wanted to get them to buy some, bring people in there that wanted to play with him. But like you said earlier, you called it out. It's the most dramatic league in all professional sports.
So goddamn dramatic.
So he's doing it for clout or whatever, or as long as his name's still relevant to stuff, he's all over the news. Harden, where's he gonna go? He'll stay in Philly, but at least now he bought himself another year because just the thought of people wanting him is enough. That's all.
Yeah, and if he plays well, then someone will want him.
If he plays like shit, he won't get invited back to the white party. That's all.
Yeah, I guess.
yeah. Let's get off this white party.
Yeah.
Hold up, we got to talk about Pat Bev for a minute, though.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, your namesake, dude.
Well, and he's a fucking dog.
Yo, he is a dog. Drinking
He fits
Miller
in.
Lite.
He fits into Philly.
His podcast, Drinking Miller Lite.
Taking the camera to the ref. Like,
we got to get Pat up in this chair.
Yeah. I saw that he said on his podcast either today or yesterday that he plans to live in the city too.
Let's fucking go.
They were asking him like, "So are you going to live in South Jersey, or whatever?" He's like, "No, I'm living in Philly."
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
He's the man, dude. Like, for all we know, he could be pretty washed. He's 35. Like, he's like has been a pretty mediocre shooter the past couple of years. He probably doesn't have the lateral quickness to stick with most guards anymore. I don't care, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is like
I would have loved to have had him like 3 years ago, but I mean,
he's kind of
take it.
duplicative. Melton is essentially a younger version of him, but I don't care. This is the most Philly athlete that has come to the city.
He's got grit. He's got tenacity. He's got that dog in him. And you got PJ Tucker that's probably more athletic right now than he is. I would say, yeah. Watching his aggressiveness in the playoffs. That'd be
like comparing like me and Trevor.
Well, athleticism is a broad term, I will say. But my point, though, is that like I feel like I've seen Tucker... But that's because we're watching him in our own market. So, like, I've seen more of PJ Tucker's game last year than I saw of Pat Bev's. But to match them up together, too, oh, my God. Our defense, especially with Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah, I think Pat Bev is probably still a pretty good team defender. Individual defender kind of scares me, but I couldn't care less.
He just brings that goofy-ass swag.
This guy is like, dude... When, what was that ref's name? Eric, the ref that got caught cheating.
Oh, Eric Lewis, I think.
Eric Lewis. Yeah. Pat Bev
was the camera.
Pat Bev was the first one on that shit. He was like, yeah, we got this on camera. We saw you cheating. Pat Bev was the first one on this. Now he's one of ours, man.
True.
He knows.
He's
been known.
The city, I can't imagine. I mean, it's going to go nuts. He fits right in. He's a true Philadelphian already. I can already feel it.
Yeah, the first game he comes up with like this clutch steal.
Anything he does is going to be great. A block, a steal, talking shit to a player, getting ejected. Like, he's one of us.
Yeah, he needs to retire here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best thing Daryl Morey has done easily this offseason, probably in the last season, has been bringing in Pat Bev.
And hell of a first name. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, your namesake.
Come on now.
Yo, what about him talking shit on previous NBA drafts? The 2015 draft, he got to Jahlil Okafor. He was just like, trash. Clearly one of us, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly one of us.
He will fit right in.
But yeah, I couldn't let the Sixers segment go by if we didn't talk about Pat Bev at least a little bit.
Yeah, I was very happy. We were texting each other. We were all like, "This is great." We called that out. One of our first podcasts when they were all still playing.
I've been saying for 2 years, 3 years, I want him on the Sixers, and here he is. I don't care if he's washed; I'll take it.
Yeah, so I guess that'll just about wrap up the Sixers. I don't really think we have time to do Phillies. There's not really much going on. They lost a couple to the Nats.
They just beat the Rays 2 in a row. They just won this game.
Yeah, they just won a series against the Rays.
11 road games in a row.
Against the Nats. Castellanos on the All-Star team.
Hit a home run.
Pat's boy, Derek Hall, Thumbelino, is back.
He's back. I think he had like an RBI tonight.
What a bitch ass. Not a home run, though, still.
Yeah, we'll see. yeah. We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, this time next week when we record, the Fields will be on the All-Star break. All-Star game's what, Tuesday night? Yeah, we'll be able to talk about the home run derby. We'll be able to talk some All-Star game next week.
Maybe we'll watch it. They're both Tuesday? No, what's Tuesday?
I think the derby's probably Monday. The All-Star game's Tuesday. Or maybe the derby's Tuesday. The All-Star game's Wednesday. I forget.
Yeah.
Well, not bad.
Castellanos, hopefully he has a good game.
He's been crushing it lately. The Phils are good.
Another home run tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're riding the Phillies wave out or we're riding out to the end. But...
Well, one last Phillies thought, one last Castellanos thought, as I've been called this. I've said this at least 2 episodes, and I've been saying this since the World Series. Knew my man was going to come back this year, and he has.
You did call that. That's true. Harper needs a phone call. I think Turner's turned it around. He's had another
Turner's
home
mom
run
needs
today.
to call him Harper.
Since I called him out about that shit, he's been killing it. Harper now is on the hit list.
He's been hitting for average. And, he's been drawing his walks.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Hitting any home
He's
runs.
got no power.
He's hit some balls pretty hard. He had that one double last night. He had another pretty hard hit double tonight.
His on-base percentage has been through the roof. He's been great. Hits, great. RBIs, killing it. But something's not right. He's got no power anymore that way. And I don't give a shit what kind of fucking Philly fanatic sliding glove you want to put on or what color your cleats.
He's got the fanatic sliding glove now.
Yeah. I don't care what color your fucking cleats are. Hit the ball over the fucking fence. We paid you this much kind of money. You came back fast as shit. I get it. I don't want you to play first base. I don't want you to wear green cleats or a green glove. Start hitting some dingers here now. Come on. It's about time.
Yeah. I'm not too worried. I think the dingers are going to come.
Hopefully the All-Star break does him some good. Some time to rest and, really get his mind together.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever he needs.
So should we talk about the hottest new luxury sports bar in Philadelphia?
Yeah, Bankroll.
Bankroll. So we wanted
Dude, we got to get... They're only doing private events. We got to have
we should have a
podcast party there.
Yeah,
if we
can
probably
get it
out
for cheap.
the
we got $5,000.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about. There was an article published last week at BillyPenn.com. This is by Ali Mohsen, titled "What Happened at Bankroll Inside the Spectacular Collapse of Philly's Luxury Sports Bar," and yeah, this is quite a funny article. For those who don't know anything about this was the former site of the Boyd's Theater on Chestnut. Had been pretty much nothing there for a lot of years.
Decades,
A long time. And this guy, this venture capitalist from Doylestown, who was an early investor in FanDuel, buys it up with the idea to open up a, sort of a luxury sports bar, betting parlor sort of thing. And it all seems to have gone horribly wrong. I don't know. What were your guys' impressions about this article?
Thought it was hysterical. I think that it's funny that you name your bar Bankroll and then you feasibly can't get the money flowing, so you had to shut down, which is like, okay. And I walked by it like not too long ago. I think it was maybe spring. And just looked at the menu. I was like, there's no way this place, it's a sports bar. But I was like, they got a steak for like $250 over here, like encrusted in gold, flake, whatever. I'm like, something tells me that Philadelphia sports bars aren't going to be buying this shit. And that was it. And then months later, they shut down. And this is what it is. But I think that it's just hysterical. I don't know. It's a stupid idea. I mean, Philadelphians love a good dingy, dark, divey bar to watch a sports game. I don't think to be pampered watching anything like that. And the one thing in the article that stuck out the most for me was we're too good for nachos.
Oh yeah.
Hey, come on now.
I mean, just the whole concept to me is kind of insane because they're pretty much saying, okay, we're gonna have this swanky sports bar where you can buy overpriced food and watch sports on a million TVs and bet on sports. And it's like, dude, that's called a casino. We already have some of those. Right. Only it's pretty much like a casino that's just the sports book.
Right.
And you're gonna like drag people. Like nobody's gonna be into that. Just go down to.
It's called your sofa. Like
you don't need to go anywhere to do any of that.
Well, here's the other part that was wild to me, which I didn't even realize until I read this article, is that the whole concept with the betting thing never even happened because they were supposed to.
They had that app, yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to have an app, and then it just never got developed. This is, I'm trying to find the quote here, where they say...
he was like, we're not a betting bar. Like, yeah, but you were, as a part...
Oh, where they said they wanted people
they wanted people, instead of people staring at their phones, staring at a screen together, where they're all like connected through this app, I guess. But then it never got developed, so there's just none of that. There's no actual, there's no like betting kiosk or something. There's at one point in the article, someone asked the owner, "How do people bet here?" And having him reply, "Oh, we don't bet. We don't do that. You heard wrong." And it's like, why is it called bankroll? Yeah. That's like a betting. Right. That's like a betting term for like your.
If I can't lose my money here, I'm walking out.
That's my biggest takeaway from the entire article, man, was a place like this would do well in Midtown Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Where like people like
they got money,
really that passionate about sports.
Yeah,
they have the money to blow on a $250 steak with gold on it or whatever. And if they can go to a bar called Bankroll, but they don't need to bet, they're all for it. But like in Philly, man, we ain't about that. Like I'll just as soon watch a watch a game at a bar like Grumpy's, let's say, or McCusker's. Shout out McCusker's. I'm not even just as soon. I'm more likely to watch a game at a bar there than I am somewhere bougie where I don't have to pay that much money for a steak.
Right.
And like, to be too good for nachos, the one quote in there was like, you're making $5,000 on nachos. Like, you might as well keep serving them.
Then you are good for nachos.
Yeah, but to say, I don't care how much money I'm making, this is not that type of bar.
So the person that they made the CEO of the bar, restaurant, whatever you want to call it, was this person named Padma Rao, who I guess was involved.
My ass.
I guess was involved in the owner's company, and also was an executive at Grubhub, I think this says, and it seems like a classic example of someone be putting in charge of running a restaurant who has had no actual restaurant experience, doesn't understand any shit. Like the number one quote from the article, this is this guy I forget what his name is, something Kim, who was the executive chef who quit, was talking about the clashes they had over the menu and stuff, and he says Padua was like, no, fuck that, we shouldn't have nachos, we're too good for nachos.
What's me with that?
Like,
you're a sports bar, then don't be a sports bar. Like, if you want to be an upscale kind of whatever, go for it. But if you want to be a sports bar in Center City, Philadelphia, hello.
Yeah, it's so funny too, because I mean,
no one gives a shit about eating food when they're watching the game. Honestly, food is the most distracting
I'm
part
not
of
trying to
watching
eat
the
a
game.
fucking steak while
I
I'm
can't
watching
eat.
a football game.
If you're a true fan of sports, you usually got too many like agita or butterflies. You're like, I can't eat right now until it's halftime. Then you eat some fries or nachos just to get some quick
steak.
food. No,
Missing with that.
but it's even funny. Just the recurring theme through the article is people just talking about how it was unclear to everyone involved, like what this place is supposed to be exactly.
Which makes sense.
Because it's like, it's have all these sort of clashing, like it had no identity. It's all these sort of clashing themes where like we want to be upscale and luxury, but it's also about sports, but it's also about betting, but you can't bet here. And so it's like, what the fuck is this actual thing?
And there's no Miller Lite.
And
what
then,
the fuck?
and it's even, and I feel like that is just like is just totally pronounced by just the facade of the place, which like they kept the sort of theater marquee,
The marquee look, yeah.
which is cool, but it just says Bankroll on the outside, and it's like, what the fuck is that? And then you can't even see, because like it has that like recessed entrance like a theater has, and it's like, what the, like you can't, like you're like you're like squinting at it, and it's like, what is this place?
The bouncer was wearing like a Secret Service uniform, so full black suit. Like, if you're labeled Bankroll and it's all about sports betting and a sports bar, if I'm not sitting next to 4 Kramers at a horse racing track in there, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit next to some fucking bougie ass dickhead that just got out of his accounting job and sit next to me and like whatever, talk about stocks and bonds and shit. Yeah. I'm trying to get fucked up with some random ass people, drink shitty beer, watch a game, get mad or get happy together, and that's it.
Yeah.
They were trying
and eat some nachos.
They were trying to just make everything super expensive. This is another quote from the former executive chef. He said, I would make a dish and then I would price it out. And if I say $15 for this dish, they say, oh no, we should add another 10. It's the experience they're paying for. It's like, what's the experience? Just having like some nice couches or whatever the fuck.
The other thing too is that like there's no class in that involved, right? Where like the owner laid off all of his employees just via email. Where the one chef, I was a head chef or whatever, 20 years of experience as a head chef in Philadelphia, and you cut the guy loose via email. Like there's no
the one guy just walked out.
Yeah, that's just classless work. Like you don't. They deserve at least.
They furloughed like 50 of their employees just from an email.
You have a big enough space to bring your employees in for the day or call them or whatever. It's not that many employees to tell them in person. That's just classless fucking Doylestown, FanDuel app fucking shit. That's why I never lasted. I don't want them in here ever again. And there's and Steven Starr, as much of a dickhead as he is, when he went out,
he knew
they should have.
He saw the writing on the wall.
When he goes out, they all should have bounced.
That's the one. The one employee was like, "Yeah." When I saw Steven Starr left, I was like, "Shit, we're in trouble."
Right? He's like the fucking main guy in Philadelphia.
An established chef is like, this place is a nightmare.
Because even Steven Starr was like, "Yeah, the nachos is a good touch." His partner was
I'm
like,
sure you probably would have been pro nachos.
He was.
Like, for what it's worth, man, like, he is an asshole, but his food isn't, like, his restaurants aren't, like, unaffordable.
They also don't tank. Like, you know, you can say what you want to say about the guy, but, like, they don't go anywhere. Park is always popping off. Continental's always doing well.
I just had Fidel this last week.
Yeah. The new burrito joint, like, you know,
Morimoto,
he's a dickhead, but, like, shit doesn't fail under him in Philadelphia. And when he pulls out, it's like, all right, well, hello.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall for you.
He's like, you want to be a sports bar, but they had caviar on the menu.
Yo, we got to talk about this billionaire bacon.
I was just about to bring that up.
That's bullshit.
The fact that they were like, fuck no, we're too good for nachos. But there's a
two
picture.
2 strips of bacon or 3?
There's a picture, there's 3 that are like on this weird, like, I don't know, how do we even describe this thing? It's like
a little hook. I don't know.
It's like a little, almost like a...
Looks like a fishing rod with 3 hooks.
Yeah.
Like clamps.
I got you. With 3 strips of bacon and
like
then a bunch
lure.
of like...
Like a
over
giant
some
lure.
pickles.
And some pickled chips on the bottom. So they have that as an appetizer, but they're too good for nachos.
Yeah, 3 pieces of bacon.
Fuck.
Probably like $60.
Yeah. The other thing that was hilarious to me about this was the timing of the opening. Like they opened it during like kind of like March Madness, which I guess was good for them for a while. And then predictably it says that the business started to really fall off a cliff after the Sixers were eliminated from the playoffs. And it's like, yeah, this is like...
Yeah, that's the dead part of the sports
calendar.
calendar.
You're in Armageddon of sports. Like,
yeah, especially if you're trying to
happening.
like... If you're trying to like focus your business around betting, which I guess they weren't, but kind of are, or it's like not clear. Like people who bet on baseball are only the degenerates,
right?
Like, it's like
they're up there with horse racing. Like, okay,
yeah,
I'll
you're
bet
not
on
getting
a baseball game here. Or
yeah,
there.
but
not go to the bar like that every
Yeah,
time.
I'm definitely not doing that. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you want to like football, basketball. I mean, obviously the optimal time to open a place like this would have been the start of football season.
yeah, like
Hello?
late August,
Everything
early
going on.
September.
Like every other smart
Dude,
person in Philadelphia would have done.
Most people aren't even in Philly. Like most Philadelphians aren't in Philly that often on the weekend in the summertime.
Because it's hot as fuck. No one's trying to go.
We're going down the shore. We're going
Right.
up to the Poconos. We ain't chilling here.
Spoken
But
like a
this-
true Doylestown-ian.
Yeah, this
coming
Doylestown
in,
bitch, he
coming
don't
to
know.
Philly and think he knows what's up.
He's smoking bad dope, dude.
Yep. Fuck that shit.
Yo, my last comment on it: the Fire Festival of Philly bars. Man, y'all know
It
about
does
Fire
really
Fest.
seem like that. Yeah,
It's the same thing. It's the
Mhm.
same goddamn thing.
Yep.
Just instead of being a beach getaway, it's a Philly bar.
You just go there and you're stuck and nothing's ever there.
And the same thing like Fire Fest.
Overpriced, but nothing's there.
You watch the
Mhm.
Fire Fest documentary
Fuck
where the
yeah.
natives were like, "Yeah, we don't think this is a good idea."
They were like, we still haven't
Same
gotten paid.
thing. Us
Yeah.
natives are like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we don't think this is a good idea."
Brutal. It's a shame because the building itself, like, I wish.
it would be cool if there was something nice there.
Yeah, it'd be
Like,
cool
That's
to be able
disrespectful
to.
to the building.
It really
that they
is.
did.
The building, I think, just was like, maybe that was just some bad juju on the building where they were like, you know what, we don't deserve this. Like, we need to kick this shit out. Maybe they refresh it, make it a little dive bar. Maybe that's the new, well, whatever. We host a podcast in there one day when it's a true dive. They got wings, nachos, fried pickles, mozzarella sticks. Damn. Hot dogs, loaded chili dogs, loaded dogs.
No billionaire bacon.
No,
My ass,
a black
dude.
and blue burger. With a little bit of bacon on it. Fuck me. Mm-hmm. They're light on tap. Guinness.
Yo, if we got
Guinness
no
in the
light on
winter.
tap, we'll have Pap Bev there.
We'll have Guinness on
Turns
tap
out,
in the
yeah.
wintertime when it gets cold out. You little Guinness on there. Oh my god. I might have to walk away.
All right, well, I think that will just about do it for us here tonight. Hit us up on social media, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find our episodes on YouTube now if you want to just listen to shit on YouTube for some reason.
Video pods coming soon.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We got to figure out the technology.
Eventually, we're working on it. And also, please send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
See ya.